As we're all aware, Donald Trump faced unprecedented persecution from the Department of Justice under Joe Biden. But of course, now that Trump is president again, the indictments have started to flow against the same people who tried to throw him in jail. But of course, that makes some people like Stephen A. Smith very unhappy. And that's what we're going to see being discussed today. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe on this video so we can get to the algorithms. Here we go.
Your Judiciary Committee to scrutinize past investigations into the president's political opponents, yet critics suggest you're now mirroring the same kind of partisan targeting you guys condemned.
Yeah.
How do you respond to allegations that your oversight is less about reform and more about settling scores?
I'd stick to the facts. It's not about settling. So I'll give you an example. 2 weeks ago, we did a criminal referral for John Brennan. We think John Brennan came in front of our committee during a deposition and wasn't square with us, said things to us that were not accurate. John Brennan told us in that deposition, he said that the dossier, going back 10 years, he said the dossier was not part of he didn't want it in the intelligence community assessment, said he encouraged it not to be in there. Then we have this summer, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, declassifies the report, releases that report from the House Intelligence Committee from several years ago, and it says exactly the opposite. It said John Brennan put in writing that he wanted the dossier included in the Intelligence Committee assessment, and it relates a story that took place in there where a CIA official approaches Director Brennan and says, Director, this dossier doesn't stand up. There's no underlying intelligence to support it. It shouldn't go in the intelligence community report and the intelligence community assessment. And Brennan's response was, yeah, but doesn't it ring true? I think fully displaying his motivation, which was to go get the president. And that all happened back in that critical time frame between Election Day 2016 and Inauguration Day, January 2017, when they were changing the report. So one thing I know, you're not supposed to lie, but you're definitely not supposed to lie when you're under oath talking to Congress in a deposition, and that's what John Brennan did. So we're not talking about revenge. We're not talking about retribution. We're talking about the facts. And we do very few of these on the Judiciary Committee. The facts have to be there before we will send a criminal referral to the Attorney General of the United States. But we did it in this situation because it was warranted.
Decisions that are deemed in the best interest of the country are made all the time, and sometimes rehashing old stories, even when it involves somebody telling fibs to you guys on Capitol Hill, might deem not in the best interest of the country to move forward with that. What about that mentality and addressing it from that standpoint?
No, fair enough, and I'll do the second part first.
Sure.
Fair enough, but one of the ways you hopefully prevent this kind of stuff from happening in the future is actually holding key people accountable. And we're talking about John Brennan, who was head of the CIA. Pretty important position. And if he's falsifying things and then not being square with the congressional committee who's looking into that, that's a problem. And by the way, when we caught Mr. Brennan saying these things that weren't accurate, we weren't even asking him about this particular issue, the whole Russia hoax thing. We were asking him about the 51 former intel officials who signed that letter saying the Hunter Biden laptop was part of a Russian information operation. That was bogus because the FBI had the laptop and knew it was real. But they send that letter. That becomes the basis for Biden to use it in a debate and all that other stuff. So I think there's a pattern with Brennan and not being square with the country, not being square with the Congress. But you're also right. President Trump, if he was a man of retribution, he would have went after Hillary in 2017. Because remember what happened. The Clinton campaign hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired the public relations firm Fusion GPS, who hired a foreigner, Christopher Steele, who wrote the dossier that was complete National Enquirer garbage. And yet Jim Comey used that to go spy on President Trump's campaign. To my knowledge, that has never happened in American history. But that was what took place. And we all know that's the facts. And Clinton was behind it. President Trump wins. No one thought he would, but he does. He doesn't go after Clinton. He says, no, her and her husband have served our country. We're not going to do that. He didn't go after her. So this is not a guy about retribution. This is all about holding people accountable. That's what I'm doing as the guy who gets the privilege of chairing the Judiciary Committee. And that's where we're going to stay focused.
I'll take you at your word for it, but I know you're not sitting here right now and tell me that this president is not about retribution the way that Bolton, Comey, everybody. We've seen the tweets. We've seen what he put out to the public. We've seen the orders that he's given Pam Bondi. We've seen with Jack Smith. We've seen this stuff, Representative Jordan. You're not going to say that this president is the same as he was in 2016, are you?
In all those you pointed out, The facts are there. John Bolton was indicted 18 counts, keeping and sharing classified information. And of course, the irony is not lost on anyone. John Bolton's the one who went after the president, criticized him. Comey did the same thing. They all criticized the president on the classified document stuff when he's the one guy who's allowed to declassify things as the commander-in-chief of the country. So the facts are still there. He might have tweeted that stuff out, but that doesn't mean the facts don't support what he's saying.
So the last point that Jim Jordan is making is actually the best point, right? Because Donald Trump and the Republicans are going after these people for actually committing crimes, all right? As opposed to the other side, the Democrats, etc. They're going after Donald Trump for complete and total fabrications, things they knew were not true, okay? But Stephen A. Smith is over here saying, don't tell me that Donald Trump isn't after, retribution of some kind. Well, what you have to remember, Stephen A. Smith, is the first time around in 2016 when Donald Trump was elected, he let Hillary Clinton go, as Jim Jordan mentioned, okay? Because what was she trying to do? She was trying to stop him from becoming president, okay? But now what's the difference here? They were trying to throw him in jail for things that he is legally allowed to do as president, i.e. declassified documents, okay? That's the big difference. So you can call it retribution if you want, but really it's just going after justice. Because how many times we sit around and talk about all of these people in government who go out there and break laws constantly, and then nothing ever happens to them. Okay, well, now something is, and this may actually dissuade people from doing the same thing in the future, all right, because their lies are on record. As Jim Jordan also points out, right, the 51 intelligence officials who said that, yeah, the Hunter Biden laptop is completely fabricated, right? It's Russian disinformation, even though they knew in advance that it was true, all right? They lied to the American public. But of course, according to Stephen A. Smith, it's in the best interest of the country to just let all of this stuff go. No, it's in the best interest of the country to hold criminals accountable. This is not partisan targeting. This is actually going after people for committing real crimes, all right? And what Jim Jordan also mentions is that here's the fact that John Brennan said that, yeah, the Steele dossier, we didn't want to include that as part of the investigation, and we know for a fact that he actually did. And we also know that a lot of people over in the FBI actually changed the value of the Steele dossier because they wanted to reflect Obama's will in terms of going after Donald Trump in the 2016 election. So from day one, all the lawfare against Donald Trump was designed to stop him from being president. And when that failed, they decided to throw him in jail to stop him from being president again. And what I want to see, of course, is even more indictments, more criminal charges being brought up against these people, because this type of thing can never be allowed to happen again. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.